of comfort, and yes, it does deliver on that front. Having said that, the particular spec that we're driving today, well, it has 22-inch wheels, and so in some places that hasn't felt quite as comfortable as you'd like, but I'm pretty sure that India will not be getting those huge wheels, and so yeah, you can be pretty much assured of a very comfortable ride. And the reason I sort of stress on that is because two things kind of struck me as a little bit odd today. Even when you look at the flagship on the sedan side, which is the 7 Series, there's always talk about performance first. It's more about that it is a driver's car because it's a BMW. This is the first time that, whether it's the route selection or even the kind of briefing or conversations we've had from the experts, it is more about the comfort and the luxury aspect on this car, because see who it's going up against. When you talk about a car like the GLS, yeah, nobody's really thinking about driving performance. And the second thing, of course, which I said struck me is that in the Indian context, that becomes even more relevant because, come on, those of you who are watching who are going to buy this car, you're not going to be sitting in this seat, are you?
And yet the good news, or should I say the big relief for me, is that the car does actually pack in some great performance too.
Given the sheer length, just the overall dimensions, the weight of this car, you know, you go into it thinking, yes, it's a BMW, but you know, it can only do so much. I'm glad to be surprised there, because even though I was making that point about how, you know, the focus of this drive doesn't seem to be on dynamics, the good news is that the X7 delivers. It is a true BMW, it is a driver's car, and its agility will surprise you. You do not get a sense of roll from it as well, and launching itself into a corner, it comes out nice and flat. You can take those corners, again, a little more surprisingly well than you expect. So, yeah, I have to say that even though we haven't had an out-and-out dynamic experience, out on this little twisty beach road, I've managed to push the car a little bit, and it has come through with flying colors. The 3-liter inline 6 also sounds really nice. In fact, a little better than I expected it would. The amount of torque you get from the engine, I think, is the real satisfying part of it, because it's available to you in truckloads and nice and low as well. The anti-roll bar and the independent air suspension certainly plays exactly the role it's meant to. Gives you great stability and really no sense of roll whatsoever.
The optional M Sport differential is only standard on the top spec diesel X7 M50D. It helps limit the equalization of rotational speeds of the wheels on the inside and outside of a corner, keeping the car stable and in control in very dynamic driving situations. Now, before you can ask, I did step into the second and third rows while being driven for shorter stretches of mixed road types. And yes, it was no surprise just how comfortable I was, especially in row 2.
So just like the car has different drive modes, every once in a while I have to force myself to also get into different modes, and so I've engaged what I guess I should call the boss mode, or what I think a lot of us in India would better understand as Sethi mode.
But I was quickly back in the driver's seat, thank you very much, and continued to try the car's features and various drive modes. The 11.8-inch head-up display is very well laid out and offers plenty of information, including graphical representation of upcoming turns or junctions from the navigation system. Wireless charging, all kinds of smartphone connectivity options, and yes, that includes Apple CarPlay. In India, expect a lot of these features to be standard, as the car is likely to be offered in only one fully loaded trim. This is due to the kind of clientele that BMW would expect for it, as also the constraints of assembling the car in Chennai using CKD kits. The BMW X7 will come to us in the later part of the year with the xDrive 40i petrol and the xDrive 30D diesel as the likely engines. Prices should range from 90 lakh rupees to 1 crore 15 lakh rupees.